Good afternoon, everyone. Crop report day today. USDA changing the direction of the day session. First, let's start with the morning, where wheat futures were sharply higher by double digits. Soybeans were double digits. Corn was strong. As late yesterday and overnight, rumors were abounding that, and it was in the wheat trade yesterday, that Russia is considering putting a 30% export tax on their sun oil, and they may extend that to wheat and corn as well to push back on runaway food inflation they have over there. Their flour prices have been exploding since September, October, and now it's even the meat prices, dairy prices, they're all on fire, and so they're looking to slow the exports out of the country. So that got the grain markets excited late yesterday and overnight into this morning. That is until we got to the USDA crop report. Now, the USDA crop report wasn't necessarily bad per se. It just wasn't as good as many were hoping for. That's why soybeans and corn are now down on the session. If we look into the numbers on the crop report, the big standout is the soybeans. Carryout was anticipated to drop some 27 million bushels from already last month's 190 million bushel number. That was considered big, a big drop. Now, what they did increase the crush, which took up 15 million bushels of that carryout, because the crush has been awesome. We get a big crop report next week on the 15th of December on the crush, which has been runaway. But they didn't raise their export numbers, which is kind of a joke. Everybody's going, really? We know the current export number has to be increased, because as of right now, we've already exported some 88% of what we would expect to export of this past crop through September 1st of next year. You understand, today is December 10th, and we have until September 1st to get to the end of the crop year next year, and we've already exported 88.5% of the current, what the USDA says we're going to export for beans, of 2.2 billion bushels. We know we're going to sell a lot more of that, especially with the ongoing drought in South America. And we know that the crop is late out of Brazil. You can't buy beans from Brazil now till sometime well into February. That means China is going to be buying from us probably a little more than they think. So whatever, that caused the soybean market to come off its highs and head lower on the session, and also put an end to the corn bounce too. Corn carryout was left unchanged with last month. The USDA is not increasing exports yet, where we know we are the only provider of corn into the spring. That number will likely grow exports, which means the carryout number will decline. Wheat, the carryout numbers for the world number, a little lower than expected, and the wheat numbers domestically was lower as expected. So the wheat market's still higher on the session, but well off session highs as it's watching Russia. So now we look forward into next week as we go through the weekend. Brazilian rains are occurring off and on here and there. Not as robust as some forecasts are saying, but they're getting rain, and it's going to rain into Saturday. And then we see the forecasts turn dry again. But there's no oppressive heat. It's not like 105 down there yet. Even Argentina, mid-80s, dry, while the crop is being planted. I think there's something like 70%, 75% planted in Argentina right now. So the market has time to dilly-dally. And, well, that's what it's doing after being as much as, 15, 16 cents higher earlier in the day session. Now beans, January, down 5.5, 11.53. March, down 5, 11.58 3/4. New crop November, down 3 1/4, 10.44 3/4. With meal, which was $5 higher earlier in the day, now the March meal down $1.60, 379.90. March bean oil, though, still higher by 22 cents at 37.94. Corn futures down 2 cents on March corn, 421 3/4, right smack dab in the center of its trading range for the last week and a half. The May corn down 1 3/4, 424 3/4, with December new crop down 3/4, 409 3/4. As we go to the wheat market, still showing gains. French milling wheat closed out up on the day, $2.25 a ton at $205 on the March contract. Wheat, we are about 8 cents off session highs, depending on which exchange you're looking at. But roughly, we're March wheat Chicago right now still up 8 1/4, 591 1/4. May is up 7 3/4, 492 1/4. As we go to Kansas, March up 7 1/4. 558 1/4. May up 7 1/4. 563. The March Minneapolis up 2.5. 558. May up 1.5 at 565. Cattle futures going in higher than the news would imply. Cash trade lower today, light, but there was a few trades in Iowa at $1.05. Box beef down $2.94 on the choice. Select down $2.05. But the funds looked at this thing holding technical support, And there's a snowstorm on the way, believe it or not here in North Dakota, but there's talk of adverse weather coming for, what has it got, 3 inches of snow for Kansas, 3 to 5 inches in Colorado, and Nebraska and Iowa is going to get something here in the coming days later on, not us. And so even that prompted some buying. So we are higher. We've got the December cattle up 62 cents at 108, February up $1, 111.97. That is 50 cents off the highs. April up 95, 116. January feeders up $1.02, about $1 off their highs now. 138.05. March up 95, 139.75. The April feeders are up 80, 141.22. Hogs were under pressure from the get-go. Down $1.10 on February, 65.17. April down 57 cents, 69.17. And the gold market down 70 cents right now, 1837.70 after yesterday's sell-off, just showing stability for now. Silver up 12 cents, 24.11. And then we look at crude oil, bracing for new upside strength. Remember yesterday we talked about how it overcame very negative news, and if you can't go down on that kind of news, what will you go down on? Anything will take you up. Well, we are higher again today on optimism that Asian demand is improving. Apparently the Chinese flu is not as bad on Asians, maybe. I don't know. The point is they think that the improvement in Asia is going to be faster than the U.S., and so Brent oil futures went over $50 today, pulling crude oil here higher, up $1.53 on January crude oil, 47.05 last. The gasoline up 5 1/4 cents a gallon, 132.80 for January. March up 4 cents at March heating oil up 4 cents at 145.13. Any questions, you can find us, and that's at heartlandinvest.com. Thanks for listening, and have a profitable day.